There are many people that don't like Igbo people.
You know some of them?
Of course. I mean,
really?
I know some of them.
Have you engaged some of them?
Well, they are all around, and they say...
What are their reasons?
Well, many of them think that the Igbo are over-assertive. Some of them think that they are generally not honest. As if you do business with them, you likely regret. You know, there are a lot of things they talk about. But I don't agree with Dr. Boniface Chizia that Igbo phobia developed in the aftermath of the last election. It has always been there. It probably became, it expanded in the aftermath of the election. But if I'm to link that to the election, there is a point I want to make, and that is that nobody should have the illusion that Obi's victory in Lagos was made possible only by the Igbo votes. Many Yoruba people, mostly elites, those who wanted genuine change and who thought that after assessing the candidate, Obi, who occupied the top of the scale, voted for him. We saw that across Lekki, all over the place. So Obi's victory in Lagos was not just the Igbo alone. There were many Yoruba who voted, Obi. This statement, Urubowayo, was very prominent.
Which is also very false.
Yes, and I'm not sure it has totally cleared. That statement, Urubowayo, made people to think that the average Yoruba was cunning, was a Wayo person, so to speak. But that has, almost totally cleared now. I think that is the case with the Igbo. It's a psychological thing. It's not something that is based on reality. It is psychological. It is an assumption that is not correct. Unfortunately, it has not disappeared. So many parts of the north, they just couldn't just accept to be. I want to understand. I want to explain that on the basis of maybe the same Igbo phobia. I told you, I'm a grassroots person. We go around, we find out how people are not. And one of the things we were asking Obi when he came here at that time was that he came on the 5th of February. Election was 25th, 20 days to election. 2 weeks before he came, many members of the Labour Party had left. They came to APC in Zamfara, including the coordinator. 3 days before he came here, Bauchi, the coordinator had come to PDP with almost everybody. And when you engage them one-on-one, even the ones in Lagos, when you engage them one-on-one, they say that if it is a choice between Igbo, they were not even seen to be as or his competence or whatever. If it's between Igbo and Yoruba, they are more comfortable with the Yoruba man than the Igbo man. Of course, if an Hausa or...
Is that not the problem with Nigeria?
It's a problem. And so in the next election,
it's not about competence, but it's about the tribe you're comfortable with.
Yes, ethnicity is a huge, and of course, even the Igbo too are not free of that. Didn't you see the figures for being in the East? In fact, he scored higher than any of the other candidates in their area. So ethnicity is a major problem as far as democracy, elections in Nigeria is concerned. And this must be addressed to a large degree before the best can begin to emerge as leaders in this country.
I've always said that Nigeria is not getting better anytime soon. Nigeria is not coming out from the woods anytime soon. Nigeria will keep getting worse, and that is a fact. Now, the reason for this is not far-fetched. It is because the people in Nigeria, they are not ready to do the right thing to make Nigeria work. You don't wish for development, you don't pray for development. You work to bring development to your country. And for development to happen, the citizens and the leaders, they must work hand in hand to ensure that development happen. Here in Nigeria, an average Nigerian person is not patriotic to the country. An average Nigerian person is patriotic to his religion, he is patriotic to his ethnicity, he is patriotic to his party affiliation. An average Nigerian will know that this person is not competent. This person does not have character to lead a nation of over 200 million persons. But because of ethnicity, because of religion belief, because of party affiliation, we rather choose to vote for that person rather than voting a competent man that will do the job. Now, based on the talk about Igbo phobia is real, and it did not just start in the last election, where the last election amplified it because of the use of social media. It amplified the Igbo phobia in Nigeria. What if I told you that the civil war that occurred in Nigeria was not because Biafra broke out from Nigeria? What if I told you that it was not because of the coup? The reason for that civil war was because of Igbo phobia. When Nigeria gained her independence, recruitment into the civil service then was based on merit, and the Igbos dominated the civil service then because they were more advanced in times of education, and they were also dominating in times of commerce and businesses. This was a sort of concern to other regions in this country because they did not understand how the Igbos dominated every sector in this country. Just like the man said that one of the reasons why they hated the Igbos is because they are very, very assertive. When you are intelligent, successful, and you know what you are doing, there is every reason for you to be very assertive. In fact, people will see you like being arrogant, but you are not arrogant. You are just displaying your knowledge and capacity to do something. That was the case of the Igbo people. They were carrying out themselves with so much high esteem, and this drew a lot of criticism and jealousy from other people in Nigeria. This was the beginning of Igbo phobia. Then the coup happened, then the mass killing, then Biafra gaining her independence. All these things cumulated to the Igbo phobia you are experiencing today. This has been passed from generation to generation, and most of the things that are being said about the Igbos are just pure propaganda. They are not real. They are just dished out by government media in order to tarnish the reputation of the Igbo people. But that has not stopped the Igbo man from progressing. Imagine fighting a war for 3 years plus. Imagine having all your properties confiscated. Imagine having all the money in your bank seized, and you're just given 20 pounds to start afresh. With all the marginalization, with all the balkanization, the Igbo man rose up from the ruins of the war to become the best enterprising region in this country. It is this same Igbo phobia that have stopped other regions from supporting an Igbo man to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is not because Igbos did not build bridges. The bridges that Igbos have built over the years, when it gets to the time of election, those bridges will be destroyed by the people they've been building that bridges with. But one thing is sure, an Igbo man does not even care if he becomes a president or not. All an Igbo man wants is a country that works. All an Igbo man wants is a friendly environment to conduct his business freely. An Igbo man does not support an incompetent person ahead of a competent person. That is the reason when you look at their support over the years as to who become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, they've even gone ahead to support other tribes to produce the president ahead of their own brother. An Igbo man will never support a criminal that is his brother ahead of somebody that is competent. That is what an Igbo man will never do. Now come to think about producing the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Since independence, an Igbo man has never become the president. You've had people from other regions producing the president, but how has it helped the country to move forward? Isn't it right time for Nigerian people to think that, hey, it is time for us to give an Igbo man an opportunity to man the affair of this country? I mean, we are talking about the people that suffered war for 3+ years. We are talking about the people who were massacred. We are talking about people whose region were destroyed by the federal government. We are talking about people whose properties were taken away and their money confiscated, and they were given just 20 pounds to start afresh, and they rose up to become the best enterprising people in Nigeria. What do you think will happen if you hand them over the presidency? You are not just handing them over the presidency because it is their turn. You are handing it because they are competent. The last election was an opportunity for Nigeria to start afresh. You have major candidates that came out and they told you what you were going to do. Among all the major candidates, one man stood out. He traveled through the width and the breadth of this country, telling them the problem and the solution. He told them the reason why we have food inflation and what he's going to do to bring down the food inflation. He told them the reason why we are having forex problem and what he's going to do to ensure that our naira is stable. He told them about electricity and what he's going to do to ensure that he increased power generation and distribution. He told them about the oil theft. He told them about out-of-school children. He told them about unemployment. He told them about making sure that the North become an arable region, but yet they did not vote for him because of that same Igbo phobia. They voted for someone that did not promise them anything. They voted for someone with baggages. They voted for someone with corruption scandal. They voted for someone that did not have the capacity to do the job. And just 1 year after they voted for that person, they are now protesting that the person should go. Is that not disillusionment? And of course, that is the life of a typical Nigerian. They will prefer to vote in thief in power and expect the person to become saint. They will prefer to vote in people that don't care about them and expect the people to work. It doesn't work that way. The only way we can move forward as a nation is when we start voting people based on their character, competence, and their ability to do the job. If not, we will keep going around the circle. We will keep going backward and will be a mockery to other countries, especially in African countries. Look at how Africans are mocking us. That is the reason why I don't even give a hoot about what happened in South Africa. There's been a lot of uproar on the social media because South Africa denied a Nigerian South African lady from contesting in the Miss South Africa beauty pageant. There were talks of xenophobia raining all through the airwaves, but look at what is happening in Nigeria. What is happening in Nigeria is even worse than what is happening in South Africa. In Nigeria here, we are having hatred with one another. South Africa is having hatred upon a Nigerian, but you, a Nigerian, you are having hatred upon a fellow Nigerian. What do you mean by telling that the Igbo should leave Lagos? What do you mean by you prefer a Yoruba man to voting an Igbo man? You voted for the Yoruba man. How has he affected your life? You are more worse than those people you criticize in South Africa. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.